up, y'all? It's me, Erica, and we are down here. Peace, y'all. Take care of each other. Protect your energy. What's up, everybody? It's me, Erica, and we are down here, honey, to talk about the Real Housewives of New Jersey. I just watched it for the second time. I watched it last night, but I didn't take any notes. Then I got up and watched it again and took some notes. So it's fresh on my mind. And then I saw that they uploaded 3 episodes of the new Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip on Peacock. So I'm probably going to review all 3. We'll do a recap of all 3 since they posted all 3 at the same time. We'll do all 3 at the same time. So we'll see. If it gets too much, I mean, it just have to be a long review because it's going to be 3 episodes. So it'll probably be like maybe 50 minutes or something, maybe over 50 minutes. Because, honey, we do an hour show and be talking for 50 minutes. Should be 30 minutes. But anyways, so go ahead and like, subscribe, comment, let me know you stopped by. And we are down here, honey. So Melissa's going to have a luau party. Everybody's going to the shore for that. She wants to have a party. Danielle and Rachel are going shopping. And, Danielle or Rachel is saying she feels like her and Danielle are in the boat together. They're not used to the dynamics of the women. They're friendly and then they're fighting, then they're friendly, then they're fighting. I think they get their asses together on the ultimate girls trip. The host tells the women that they're fake because one minute they're laughing and the next minute they're fighting. So Rachel is perceptive, okay? So she says that Jennifer Fessler is going to stay with her at the shore house. Rachel has a shore house, so they're going to stay there with her. And then Danielle lets us know that she hasn't been to the shore since she was 25 years old. She said she had a conversation with Joe Gorga about, the relationship between his sister and himself and her brother and her. And she says that Joe was telling her, you don't give up, don't give up. And she was like, yeah, don't give up. This is what Rachel's telling her. Yeah, don't give up. And she was like, no, yeah, don't give up. But I still have to protect myself. I just feel like it's a lost cause. Now, listen to me. A lost cause. That's why it doesn't make sense. And now, if she's watching this back, I'm sure, well, she has to be watching this back. You have to know how it doesn't connect when you say the relationship between you and your brother is a lost cause because he was making fun of you on Instagram. Girl, what happened? And he's not talking to you or your mama over Instagram. So it doesn't make sense. Yes, you shared, like she says at the end, I shared with them, about something that was really, meaningful to me or something like that. And they're just talking shit about it. But it doesn't make sense. They're talking about how it doesn't make sense. And if it doesn't make sense, everybody's going to be like, yeah, I mean, I feel like it's a little bit more than that. Everybody feels like that. So she says, and then we talked about Margaret, right? So they're talking about Margaret and they're talking about how, they were warned about Margaret and about Jen. She was like, I feel like Margaret is a little judgmental when it comes to Jennifer. And, but, them telling us that we got to be careful with her and how she's dangerous and vicious. And, Rachel is saying, I don't like that. And then, Danielle was like, well, she came out and she said something about, Jennifer. And then she laid that bomb on about Teresa and Louis. She was like, but she has this arsenal. You know what her friend Laura said? She has this arsenal. And then Rachel was like, well, do we know that though? Like who else does she have problems with? And she was like, well, just Jennifer and Teresa. Okay, and they're the only ones warning you about her. You're not putting 2 and 2 together. Same way we're not putting 2 and 2 together about your relationship with your brother. You're not putting 2 and 2 together that Jennifer and Teresa are the ones, and they're the ones who have problems with her. So they're the ones that telling you, that are warning you. Nobody else is warning you. Rachel is like, that don't go with me. It's got to be more than that. It's got to be more than that. She was like, Marge has always been nice to me. I don't have that feeling from her. So I'm basically taking those, it is a, I don't like when people do that. Let people discover on their own. Unless Marge was this really super awful person and you just needed to know about her and be careful going over there to her, stuff like that. But it's not. This is fucking TV, okay? And she's not dangerous and vicious, right? Um, so let people find out on their own. There's no need to warn or paint a picture of somebody before that. It is, especially if you and that person have said, oh, we made up. Well, you wouldn't have said nothing. You would be like, well, let them find out on their own. Me and Margaret are cool now, so, or we're good in a good place now, so let them find out on their own. I had to find out on my own. What, did anybody warn you? So, you know what I'm saying? So, it is what it is. So Teresa is at the jewelry shop. She's trying to buy some gifts for the bridesmaids. She ends up getting these cute little, dainty little bracelets. Benny is Jennifer. Jennifer shows up. Jennifer Aiden shows up. And Benny, the jeweler, is Bill's cousin. Right. So she was like, you got to be extra on your wedding. She was like, I just want to keep it simple. That hairdo that Teresa had at her, that updo that she had at her wedding. No, ma'am. It really looked like a full blown cabbage in the organic farm. It like was so big, but that's Teresa. She's, so big, she's all out there. She said, were you happy with Joe at the baseball game, right? So they're talking about the baseball game and how Louis was the MVP. And then she was like, oh, I gotta make sure this is on. She was like, I was really happy when Joe and I were talking, I guess, whatever. And she says, but what really would have made things nice or would have made things better is for them to have asked us to stay at their shore house. Teresa, stop it. Nothing is going to make anything better. It's always something they have to do to make it better, and it never makes it better. So cut it out. Stop. What really, her voice, it just goes up. And what really would have made it better is if they would have invited us to their shore house. When she starts doing all that shit, she even knows she sounds ridiculous. I'm convinced you can't be that goddamn dumb because you know that you are not it's not going to make it better. We know it. We saw footage from how many years ago when you were trying to say that Melissa was the dancer. Girl, nothing is going to make it better. They could have you sleeping in their own bed, maid butler service, maid service, housekeeping service, everything for you, 5-star delivery, and it wouldn't make it better. Cut it out. Stop it. We're done with that. We're done with that. Why aren't you inviting Melissa's mom to the wedding? That's what she said. Why would I invite Melissa's mom to the wedding and they not invite me to their shore house? Girl, like, that's what I'm saying. Shut up. Because if you're not dumb, when you try to make these rational statements and they sound completely irrational, they're not comparable, you come off as you're dumb. And I don't think that you want to come off like that, but it comes off like that, like you're a dingbat. Because what? Girl, bye. Maybe Margaret, that's why they're letting Margaret stay at their house, because Margaret might have something on Joe and Melissa. Okay, girl. Here we go. Well, and she was like, well, you got to keep, maybe they want to keep their enemies closer and stay in their house. Okay. Okay. Y'all just talking. That's what I'm saying. Like, girl, shut up. So at Paulie's house, he has a nice house. I love the front of his house. I like the inside too. I love all the windows. I love everything. That's probably why it's so hot in there. That's it. Does he have the heater on and all them windows? I don't know, because Dolores was so happy at Rachel's shore house when she was like, oh my God, it's going to be so cool. It's so cool in here. It's going to be good sleeping without Paulie, because he be having it hot in the house. Remember, he had it on like 75 or something. Too hot. She said she's gonna stay with Rachel Fuda. She says normally I stay with Frank, but we got to set boundaries. And she said, you know what, I'm not even worried about it. She really isn't, and we're here for it. Jen and Bill are having a conversation on what they're gonna wear, and the mom is going to keep the kids for them so they can go be adults. And let me tell you something, they had a good time, and I'm not mad at it. I was like, you see somebody who works hard like that, like Bill does, and then Jennifer working hard as a stay-at-home mother of 5, even though they're not in the house, but there's other things to manage in the house, okay, besides the kids, and make sure everything is, she's basically like a house manager, right? When you're a stay-at-home mom. That's why it's more than just kids, and that's why it is when I'm not around these kids, when I don't have to do something for the kids and I can do something for myself, I'm gonna let my motherfucking hair down. And I was glad that Jennifer said we about to show Margaret what disheveled what disheveled looks like. I said, I know that's right. Baby, did they? That shit was so funny. They really did. So they were like, what about Dr. Judy? So Bill was like, Dr. Judy was insightful. Sometimes we say stupid, inconsiderate, hurtful stuff to each other. Um, and he's like, it's the things that are left unsaid. He's like, the things that are left unsaid. And Jennifer was like, he needs to stop with all that Confucius shit and just support his wife. Because, girl, what the fuck are you talking about? It sounds like he's just saying a bunch of words, just saying anything to kind of get her to shut up. But she's on to the jig is up, Bill. Okay, the jig is up. He says, well, it's just small steps. So we get to Melissa's house. Melissa's house is really nice. The backyard is really nice. I was like, are those her deck? Is that her deck right there with them white chairs? And then she had this area over here. It's like that back area is like perfect for a party. I'm like, oh my God. It is so nice. And we've seen their shore house plenty of times, and they've had plenty of parties back there, but I've never seen it. I don't know. It just looked different to me. I don't know what they did. And they have the bar and everything. It had so much food. Um, they know how to throw a party. Melissa knows how to throw a party, okay? Jackie and Margaret are staying with them. We get to Rachel Fuda's house. Aiden, they bought a shore house. Jennifer and Bill bought a shore house finally. They bought it fully furnished. She was like, I didn't even tell them to sell the sheets. There's nothing to fix up in here. But it's right on the boardwalk. Right on the boardwalk where, people are hollering and screaming and fighting and stuff like that. Bill was like, you can hear the people fighting at night or whatever, but they're probably drunk anyway, so they don't really hear it. They're not going there to relax. They're going there to party. Jennifer Fessler and her husband show up to the Fuda's house, and she says that her husband really likes to party. Dolores shows up. Dolores is staying with Rachel Fuda as well. Danielle shows up to the Aiden's house. That's where she's staying, and so is Teresa and Louie. So Teresa and Louie show up. Margaret and Melissa and Jackie Jackie's staying there with Melissa. So they're outside eating. And Margaret says that Marge Sr. went up to Teresa and was like, oh, I saw the wedding invitation. And basically it ended up getting invited to the wedding. She was like, oh, that's nice. Thank you. She basically, Teresa was like, you can come to the wedding. She probably didn't want to deny her right then and there, because that was weird for her to be like, oh, you can come. That's kind of embarrassing when people do that. Like, I feel like it's a little overstepping. If you didn't get an invitation when all the invitations went out, I mean, I guess you could say, oh, your wedding invitation was so pretty, but then you turn around and invite the lady to the wedding. She didn't ask to be invited, but knowing that you didn't send her one, and then her complimenting you on the invitation, and then you turn around and invite her. And then Melissa was like, my mom wasn't even invited. And she was like, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. And then Teresa says to Jennifer that she has never stayed at Melissa and Joe's house on the shore. And that one time Gia asked them to stay, and she said no. I wonder why she said no. Why did she say no, Teresa? Why did she say no? I don't see Melissa just telling the girl no. Like, I don't know, for no reason. I know, but I don't know. Whatever. So Jackie doesn't believe Danielle's story about her brother. And, Jackie is hard on Danielle's ass. I don't know if she doesn't want to be replaced by the other, Long Island girl. You know what I'm saying? So, aren't they from Long Island? Yeah. Because at the end, Danielle says, I'm just a better version of her. She's a miserable bitch. But Jackie is on Danielle's ass. She was like, I just don't believe that story. As someone who hasn't talked to her sister in I don't know how many years, she says that it's something more to that story. She doesn't want to look like the bad guy in the story. And then she says she looks like a Clarence Isles Snooki. I was like, God damn. So Luau Day comes, and that's when Bill and everybody's getting ready, right? Everybody's getting ready, and Bill and Jennifer are in the room talking, and then he was like, "Let's not get kicked out," because remember Melissa and them threw them out. Was that last season? Was that last season or the season before last? They kicked them out. And she was like, let's show them what the shovel looks like. I said, I know that's right. Louis is in the other room talking to Teresa, and they were like, we're gonna basically, everybody's like prepping each other, like, we're gonna get along tonight. Teresa's like, yes, yes, it's love, 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 love. Girl's a mess. Jackie, Jennifer, and Marge, everybody's getting to the party. The party looks really, really nice. They got the cigar rollers there, they got the luau dancers there. Um, this fool Melissa gonna say, we got the real cigars like the Hawaiians. And that's when they no, that's not when they cut to Marge, and Marge said maybe her and Teresa they're more alike. She said when she said the arsenal, she didn't know what an arsenal was. She said they have more in common, or they're more alike than they think. Whatever. So when Jackie and Jennifer and Marge, they're having a conversation, and they're talking about, did Teresa warn you about me? Um, she says, I'm gonna have to talk to her about that. This Rachel is sitting down with Rachel with the black hair. Okay, I gotta remember them. I think I got them down now. But Rachel's sitting there, and then they're like saying that she was like, yeah, did Teresa warn, this is Margaret asking Rachel, did Teresa warn you about me? And she was like, yeah, kind of. She was like, just basically telling her what Teresa said. Teresa lied. Teresa said that Rachel was trying to twist it, and she didn't say that. I don't remember saying that. No, that's what you said. You were very, I was like, she didn't twist nothing. She said exactly what you said. And then did you see how Teresa tried to deflect and was like, "Oh, so you trying to make trouble between and Margaret? That's what it sounds like you're doing, girl. Did you say that or not?" And then she tried to, clean it up. We're all like that. If you push my buttons, I'm gonna come after you. I think we're all like that. And Margaret was like, "Yeah, we are." And then Margaret was like, "Well, historically, I haven't really done anything to anybody." And Teresa was looking at her like, ah. And then Margaret was like, Teresa, no, bitch. That part was so funny to me because it was really funny. It was very like authentic. She was like, Teresa. She says, oh, and did y'all catch Margaret? She was like, she says, well, you're judgmental. This is what Danielle said about Margaret. And she was like, Rachel said, well, she said that you were judgmental. She was like, I don't think I'm judgmental. I'm opinionated, not judgmental. And she was like, wait till you know what I know about you, right? And then she makes this comment in her confessional that she calls herself bougie. Anybody who calls themselves bougie is really not who they say they are. They're trying to act like something else. So something Margaret was saying, girl, you said when they were at the mozzarella party, you said we were all uppity. I think she said that we were all, I think we're all a little uppity, bougie. Girl, it's the same thing. Okay. Melissa comes over. Then that's when Melissa says, what's an arsenal? And she was like a book? Girl, what? She was like, no, a place where you keep your weapons. They're trying to say I have an arsenal. And then she was like, oh, okay. And that's when Margaret said they're a little bit more like, what'd she say? She said, maybe they're a little bit more alike, or something she said about Melissa and Teresa being alike. So they have wax for John Fuda. They're gonna wax his chest later. That was so inappropriate, and I just was like, I was so embarrassed for him. And then you got to go along with it. You can't say no because you know how men like to posture, honey. He's not going to say no. But did you see when they was trying to go over the bill, they were like, we're not going to do it to Bill. Jennifer was like, do not do that. Do not do that. They are getting drunk. Bill and Jennifer, they're like, we don't have no kids. That's when she said in the room, she was like, we're going to be adults where we could be adults. Like, we're just going to act a fool. We're going to show Margaret what disheveled is. They are pouring shots out the bottles in everybody's mouth, 2 bottles like this in people's mouth. Dolores was up there like that. Jennifer was up there. I was like, they are getting their party on. I love it. I love it. I love it. And then somebody said when Dolores was getting her, when they were doing shots in Dolores's mouth, somebody said Dolores looked like a hoe. I heard that. And then somebody was like, that's Patterson, baby. And they didn't look like, let me tell you something. They looked like they had a really good time. They had the limbo out there. Bill was crawling on the floor trying to go under the limbo thing. Oh, they had a good time. And they really didn't have any drama, which was actually good because they could have had drama, but Danielle ended up leaving. So it was actually, they had their discussions. Nobody got into it. So it was actually pretty good. They were talking about how funny Jennifer Fessler is. I think she's funny too. And then she was like, we're just waiting for Rachel to show her true colors. They're like, we're just waiting for Rachel to show her true colors. And I think it was Jackie. I think we've seen her already. And then that's when Teresa was there. And that's when Margaret and Teresa had that conversation going back and forth. And she was like, were you warning them about me? And she was like, no, I wasn't warning them about you. She said something about, keep her as a friend and not an enemy. And why would you say anything negative about me if we're supposed to be, I was all on the Teresa train, I'm saying me and Teresa made up and stuff like that. And then you're over here telling something, trying to warn people about me, saying something negative about me. And then Teresa goes, I don't remember saying that. And then she says, I think you're trying to start trouble with me and Margaret. So she says to Rachel. And Rachel's looking like, she was like, I don't know if she was digging in her purse. I don't know what she was doing. But she was like looking up at her. And she was like, I was just telling her what you said. I was just telling her what you said. And she did not twist it or anything like that. She said what she said. She says, Rachel says, well, I was just being transparent. She said, that's when Teresa says it doesn't sit well that you're trying to twist what was said. You trying to say, and then she's like, I feel like you're trying to twist that's what Teresa said about Rachel. She said it doesn't sit well with her that she tried to twist what she said. So in her mind, because it got back to Margaret that she said something about her, she is going to create conflict with Rachel. Now she's going to have a problem with Rachel now. Rachel should have remained loyal to Teresa and not said anything to Margaret about her warning her. So that's why she immediately tried to deflect and was like, you trying to cause a trouble, because in her mind now, I have a problem with you because you shouldn't have said nothing to Margaret. But that goes to Margaret's point. We're not really cool. Stop being fake. And that's what Margaret was telling her. I don't want to be fake about anything. Just be honest with me. If we're not cool, we're not cool. Just be honest with me. And Teresa says, no, we're fine. We're good. And she said, it's genuine. She was like, but we're all the same. If somebody is pushing our buttons, we're going to fight back. Don't you agree? And she was like, yeah. And then that's when Margaret was like, historically, I haven't done anything to anybody. And Teresa was looking at her like, well, I don't know about that. She was like, Teresa. That was funny. Joe is getting everybody drunk. Yeah, so about that, I already said what I said. Teresa is like that. She's going to be mad. Watch what I say. She's going to be mad at Rachel because Rachel wasn't loyal to her and went back and told Margaret. Right. Kiss the ring. I'm the boss. I can warn you about people, but you can't go back and say anything to them. Watch, she's going to have a problem with Rachel. Bill is getting drunk. He's wasted. That's why I put here. He's playing limbo, trying to go into the limbo thing, crawling across the floor on his hands and knees, honey. He was drunk. Dolores and Frank are off to the side, and he's telling her that they're going to wax John Fuda later, but he doesn't want him to be offended. She was like, I don't think he'll be offended. You guys are a good group of guys. Everybody gets along and this and that. And he was like, yeah, but it's a shame that every time I'm someplace, Paulie's not here, right? But Paulie has all these health issues. She's like, I can't help that. You need to push him. He was like, you need to push him to spend time with us. And she was like, I can't push him. And that's what I said. I put, Dolores don't need to fix shit. Girl, no, you go talk to him. You invite him out. This is the group of guys. These are the people Dolores hangs with. You invite him out. Frank, why does Dolores have to do the labor? You do the labor this time. God damn it. She was like, Paulie is the first, my first boyfriend that didn't want to sleep with Frank. Britt comes over and Britt says that, it was kind of funny that, Dolores didn't stay with us. She was like, I wanted you to stay with us. She was like, but Paulie was going to come initially. And I don't think Paulie would have felt comfortable staying in Frank's shore house. I don't think he would have felt comfortable either. And she was like, I don't feel sorry for Frank. Don't feel sorry for Frank. He's running around the shore with a 30-year-old or 35-year-old or whatever. She was a young blonde. What was she saying? And she was like, but you have to reach out. I said, Dolores don't have to fix shit. Dolores was like, okay, I'm walking away from this conversation because this one gets stupid. This one gets weird. So Danielle and Jennifer are off to the side and they're talking. They're like, oh, let's make sure Margaret doesn't see us and judge us, right? So, she's doing. And then it's funny how Danielle will say, when the women were talking about me, I felt as if I was in high school when I used to get bullied and stuff like that. But you're also mimicking the same behaviors over there with Jennifer. Like, ooh, let's make sure we're on our best behavior so Margaret doesn't judge us. You're over there doing that. So it's the same thing. It's the same thing. But the thing is, yes, it's something that you shared with your friends, but it's not adding up. And they're going to keep talking about it because it's not adding up. Teresa and Louis, they're talking to Teresa and Louis. It's like, Jennifer is over there, Margaret, most of the women are over there. And Teresa and Louis are standing there and they're like, oh, it's 4 weeks, until the wedding. We're concentrating on our vows and stuff like that. And Jennifer Fessler goes, it's a little weird, that Melissa's mom, was invited. Do you think it's going to, create a barrier, more of a barrier between you and Joe that you didn't invite Donna Marco? And do you think it was like maybe an oversight? She was like, no, it wasn't an oversight. I said, I know that's right, bitch. No, it wasn't an oversight. She said, basically 10 years ago on social media, they were talking about Teresa. Teresa was like, I got busy. They got jealous and they were talking about me. And then they, showed a flashback with Jennifer, not Melissa's sister, saying it's one side. I'm on one side. I said, I know that's right. That's how you should be about your brother. But anyways, so she says, but the mom is different than this. She was like, how's it going to look if I'm going to invite the sister and not the mom? And she was like, but the mom is different than the sister. Joe really sees her as, family. And Louis like, I spoke to her and, he apologized for not inviting her. And he said, your 10 years of legacy with them is not mine. I kind of understand what he said, but y'all let me know how you feel about Louis apologizing to Melissa's mom for not inviting her. I know he's trying to keep the peace. I don't know the way that Teresa moves. I don't know if she would see that as a red flag that he kind of went behind her back and apologized to somebody she didn't invite. I don't know. Like you could see that as two sides. I was like, I don't think he should have did that. But I know I feel like I don't know if the intentions were to keep peace, because she was like, oh no, it's not, it's okay. I'm happy for you and Teresa. She doesn't feel the way. She's an old woman. Like she don't care, like stuff like that. She probably don't really even care. She probably wanted to be invited because she probably felt, I was close to your dad. I basically kept him company when the mom died. We saw it, so maybe she might feel bad, but then, she's telling him, it's okay or whatever. I don't know how I feel. Y'all let me know how you feel about Louis apologizing to Donna Marco for not inviting them. So she was like, yeah, I'm happy for you all. And Teresa says that Joe should have came to her and talked to her about not inviting Melissa's mom, but he likes the spectacle, she says. Louis says he would love to invite Donna Marco to the wedding. And then Teresa's just looking there while he's rubbing her. I was like, oh, okay. I was trying to look at Teresa's face. She did not look happy. She did not look happy with that. And she said in the confessional, I was not happy with that, but I know he's just trying to keep the peace. Is he? I feel like it's a little undermining. I don't know. Y'all let me know. I feel like it's undermining. I do. Girl, because you apologize when something has been done wrong, right? Or when you've made somebody feel bad, or you feel like something has been done wrong, so you apologize to make it right. So do you feel that Teresa was wrong in not inviting Melissa's mom? I feel she was wrong. I feel it makes a bold statement to Melissa and Joe. But Teresa has her reasonings from social media. She says she never forgets. I might forgive you. No, you don't. Fuda gets his chest waxed. Jackie and Jennifer Aiden go off to the side, and she was like, I really want you and Marge to make up. She was like, yeah, making up doesn't mean we're going to be BFFs. She said, what happened really affected my youngest daughter. Jackie said, I know firsthand what that's like, because when Teresa did her thing about Evan, it really affected my daughter. So she's like, Bill and I aren't on the same page. And she talked about how Bill is really more into the academics and the scholastics of it all. And he tells her, do you want your children to have an average life? Then they can't be average. And she's like, don't you dare call my children average. And she was like, I'm sorry that he said that to you, or something. I'm sorry, that must be really hurtful. And then they give each other a hug. But let Jennifer tell it. She's living the dream life, and Margaret wants her life. Jackie is talking about Danielle again, honey. She was like, there's a piece of her. I understand, how you feel about her. She's fun and everything like that. But there's a piece of her that's not nice. And then here's Danielle. I hate hearing my name and I'm not in the conversation. I hate that too. But she didn't go over there. She didn't go over there because she said it, probably would have ended up a different way. And shout out to her for knowing herself enough to know, like, okay, I don't like people talking about me, but I don't want to go over there because I already know how I am. And then everybody's been drinking too, so you got to chill, right? So that was good. I was like, okay, Danielle. She said, Dolores was like, what are you talking about? She was like, yeah, I just don't like hearing my name in conversations that I'm not in. And she was like, well, what happened? She was like, well, what's happening? And she was like, well, what you said about Margaret. She was like, well, I was just repeating what I was told. You repeated what you were told, but then you added stuff on. And you're really into what Jennifer and Teresa has been telling you about Margaret. And Rachel is not feeling that. She doesn't feel the same way. You just have a different approach to things. And she's like, it just brings me back to my childhood. I hate hearing my name and people talking about my name and stuff like that. And then she goes over to the side with her husband. And he was like, what's going on? She was like, I'm just having a hard time right now. And he was like, what's happening? She was like, they're just over there talking about me. And, I keep hearing my name and stuff like that. And so then Melissa ends up coming over there. And she was like, what's going on? She was like, you seem annoyed. Are you okay? And so Melissa sits down. And she was like, yeah, I just keep hearing my name. I just keep hearing my name in conversations. And I just don't like that. And then she was like, well, what they're really, she was like, well, what do you think is being said about you? Or who do you think you heard somebody say something? And she was like, well, basically the conversation is that the story with you and your brother, everybody it's not adding up. People are not believing the story with you and your brother. They feel like they're not getting the real story. So then she gets mad. She was like, I'm pissed when it comes to my brother. That's my truth. And I don't feel right. And, I try to, talk to these people who are my friends about, something that touches my soul, I think she said. And they want to be catty and talk about it off to the side. Danielle wants to leave. She's like, I'm ready to leave. She grabs Jennifer and Teresa And she said, I just don't like that catty BS. I opened up and she's like, Jackie is going around trying to make me seem like an asshole. And she doesn't like it that we're from the same place. And she doesn't like it that I'm a better version of it. And Jackie is a miserable bitch. And then, just like Margaret, honey, Danielle says, I'm the one person you don't want as an enemy. So you said it. You said it. That was the end of the episode. Y'all let me know what y'all think about the episode. In the next episode, let me tell you something. How I would have punched Louis in his effing face if he sat there and told me that he wore my father's pajamas to make his nieces feel comfortable. I wear your father's pajamas to make your nieces feel comfortable. I would have punched him square in his face. He would have had an imprint of 4 fingers going across his face for the wedding. I don't care. I don't care. That was so disgusting. I don't know what happens after that, because when I tell you how disrespectful that was to me, I was like, what did he just say to him? Baby, he would have got a knuckle sandwich. He would have. To make them feel safe and loving, I wear your father's pajamas so your nieces can feel safe and loving. I'm about to beat you up. We about to fight. We about to fight. Because what did you just say to me? Absolutely not. Louis is a trip. Louis is a trip. Just when I was trying to, like, maybe Louis, I'm trying to give Louis the benefit of the doubt, but then and did you notice how he was looking at Danielle in the Sprinter on the way back? He was just staring at her, like looking, I guess like listening attentively, but I don't know. I don't know. And then how he went and apologized to Donna Marco, I don't know about that. I just feel like that's a little undermining. I don't know if he's trying to keep the peace or you just trying to make, I don't know. I don't know what that, y'all describe to me what that is. It's undermining. That's the only thing I could think of. But why would he do that? Girl. And then they were like, you want to invite her? And he was like, yeah, I want to invite her. And he actually went to go look for her to invite her. Girl, what? You don't even know this lady. And then he was like, but to his point, your 10-year legacy with this people it's not mine to inherit. I don't inherit that. So I don't want to create problems with people. He could see it like that, but I don't know, child. Y'all let me know. Anyways, take care of each other. Protect your energy. Let's get down in the comments. Peace.